Okay, so the West Coast game is done. We're going to do a preseason review and a little bit of news that's trickled in over the last few hours that didn't warrant its own video. The Seattle, insert name here, the management gave the media tour of the arena, which just has the roof propped up and everything else underneath has been tunneled out. They're going to tunnel down another 15 feet, and then they're going to start working on putting everything together. And they're due for a completion date of summer of 2021. This is part of the reason why the NHL didn't grant them an expansion team for next fall, because there was some concern about whether or not the building would be done in time. And summer of 2021 says it wouldn't have been, and that would have been a nightmare. A team without a building for its first year. We've seen that in the NHL before. San Jose comes to mind as just one example. Calgary, their first year, before the Saddle Dome was built and whatnot. It's happened, but it's not an optimal situation for the NHL. If you're a Leafs fan and you were wondering who's going to win the battle of the backups, it looks like Neuwirth may be backing out before really getting into it. He's on a professional tryout contract. He's battling an injury. It's undisclosed. Something tells me this may be related to what shortened his season last year with the Philadelphia Flyers. And so he may not get past the tryout stage. It may just be Hutchinson as the backup, potentially by default. But we haven't got into Toronto games yet. Toronto hasn't played yet, so we'll see how things sort of shake down there, and whether or not somebody else might waive a goaltender that's unexpected that Toronto can pick up on the waiver wire that might actually be an upgrade over Hutchinson. No offense meant to Hutchinson, just this is the kind of thing that happens. McElhinney at this time last year was Maple Leafs property, gets waived, goes to Carolina, and the rest is history. Now, we'll go in order of when these games finished. I didn't do a whole lot of notes because it's the preseason. The first game was game one between Nashville and Florida. The Nashville Predators win the game 6-3. Bonino had 2 goals and an assist, and Ingram had 11 saves on 11 shots. Connor Ingram, of course, may very well be that steal goaltender, and it may leave Nashville in an interesting position where Ingram may very well be the backup as soon as next year. Do we end up in a situation where this time next year we're talking about Saros and Ingram, and is that going to be a thing? Because Ingram looks like he may very well end up being close to ready. Connolly, a goal and an assist for Florida, and Driedger with 15 saves on 17 shots for the Panthers in defeat. The New York Islanders held on and defeated the Philadelphia Flyers 3-1. The third goal was an empty netter. I watched parts of this game. It was weird because it was broadcast NHL Network, but it wasn't in high definition, so it was standard definition, and I have a 4K TV, so that made it really hard to watch. Zbiza with a goal. He, of course, is on a tryout, so we'll see if he gets a contract. Varlamov had 10 saves on 11 shots for the New York Islanders. I'm only tracking one goaltender that played tonight in every game. In some cases, both goalies played. In some cases, only one played. JVR scored the 1 goal from Philly. Voracek and Hayes with the assists on that. And Elliott saved 8 out of 9 shots that he faced. So, overall, not a bad game. I thought the Elliott goal was kind of... but again, we don't want to read too much into the preseason. That's why I don't put a whole lot on the board or a whole lot of energy into the preseason, because we don't want to read too much into it. The Capitals, they won in overtime against the Chicago Blackhawks. Kind of an exciting game, 4-3 in overtime. I watched parts of this one. Protas with a goal and 2 assists for the Washington Capitals. Copley saved 27 out of 30, played the whole game. Nylander, goal and an assist. So Alex Nylander pushing for a job with the Hawks and looked good tonight in getting there. Delia with 25 saves on 29 shots for the Hawks. And I thought he played well enough too. Montreal. There was a goaltending story out of Montreal, and it wasn't Carey Price. They win 4-2 over the New Jersey Devils, who played 2 games tonight and came out 1-1 in those games. Cousins with a goal and an assist for Montreal in the victory. Caden Primo, 16 saves on 17 shots, and was impressive. So Primo, at least turning heads for Montreal fans for tonight. And McLeod with a goal and an assist as he tries to remind New Jersey fans, I'm here. I'm still a prospect. I can still play because the shiny new toys are in, and McLeod needs to push for a spot this year, or he officially becomes a project, I would think. Cormier with 11 saves on 12 shots as well, notable. So I picked 1 out of 2 goalies for both teams. Buffalo, they win in overtime against the Pittsburgh Penguins, 5-4. Nice result if you're a Buffalo fan. Connor Sherry against his former team. Goal and 2 assists. Johansson, 11 saves on 14 shots. There were 4 different goal scorers for the Pittsburgh Penguins, which is fine. And different teams put different levels of rosters together. Nobody was playing a full NHL roster. Obviously, we're a couple weeks away from seeing that. DeSmith, 23 saves on 25 shots. His numbers very, very similar to the ones Jari put up tonight. So no real distinction between the two coming out of this game anyways. Here's the noteworthy big news of the night. If you're a fan of the New Jersey Devils, they beat Boston 4-3 tonight. And in this victory, Jack Hughes with 2 goals. Yep. There's been a lot made of whether or not Jack Hughes is going to be ready. And, well, Jack Hughes looks small. Jack Hughes probably not going to be that great in year one. I really think he's going to surprise some people. Again, I don't know that he's going to start really fast for New Jersey, but I think he's going to surprise some people. Speaking of which, Corey Schneider, 17 saves on 18 shots that he faced. That bodes well for New Jersey as well. If Jack Hughes is able to score, Corey Schneider's playing like Corey Schneider from a few years ago, the New Jersey Devils are going to be the surprise team of the East. Stanichka with the goal for Boston. Noteworthy. And Vladar with 10 saves on 14 shots. And I mentioned Vladar because every time that we look at Seattle coming into the league and who Boston's going to protect and possibly lose in 2021, Vladar is the one that Boston's protecting. And as soon as I see that, there's a part of me that says no. And it's not an insult to him. It's just I don't know that he's necessarily Boston's next starter. So it's just one of those things, and I thought I'd make note of it because it's kind of strange to me. But yeah, Boston winless on the preseason. They're done. Time to rebuild. I'm kidding. Now, the second of the back-to-back games between Nashville and Florida. Same result. Nashville wins. Different way of getting there. This is a 1-0 score. So Salamaki with the 1 goal. Saros saves 16 out of 16 in a saved shutout situation, or a shared shutout situation. Easy for me to say. Dryden Hunt had 4 shots on goal for the Florida Panthers. And Montembeault, 18 saves on 19 shots. I like the kid. And I think he's going to be a decent backup. But Nashville, 1-0 winners in that one. St. Louis, they get a shutout in a game where it was Husso and Wilcox. So they didn't need Bennington to get it. They didn't need Jake Allen to get it. Dallas, it's preseason, right? So you don't want to read too much into it. Costin with a goal for St. Louis. He's going to be pushing for a job. Wilcox made 9 saves on 9 shots. Pavelski had 3 shots on goal tonight, and Bishop saved 16 out of 17. Hudobin saved 15 out of 16, so it was kind of flip a coin, and I'll just put Bishop on the board. So good game for the goaltenders. No scoring for Dallas. You can't read too much into the preseason. So trying really hard not to look at this and go, hey, look, Dallas couldn't score against St. Louis. What a surprise. I'm trying. And again, we're not looking at full NHL lineups, so there we go. Speaking of can't score, the Winnipeg Jets get shut out by the Oilers. Yeah, right. So the Edmonton Oilers, Persson with 2 assists. Persson and Nygaard are 2 guys for Edmonton that if they end up becoming really good signings in the offseason, Ken Holland's reputation is going to take a huge jump this season. Skinner saved all 18 shots that he faced from Winnipeg. For Winnipeg, Luoto was the one that tied for the lead in shots. He had 4. Pionk had 4 shots as well, and there was actually a highlight reel they put together showing Pionk's smart offensive and defensive moves tonight in that game. And all I kept thinking was, Shannon, don't mention this in the review. Right. Crap. Comrie saved 28 out of 30, and I thought Comrie played well. Comrie very, very likely knows, hey, I've got to have a good camp. I got to show up and show that I've still got that potential because I'm a year away from project status, as some of these guys are. So for the veterans, training camp and the preseason doesn't mean a whole lot. They're going to get a job anyways. For guys like Comrie, this can be key, really, really key in showing a team, hey, continue to have faith in me, I'll reward you. And then we're into back-to-back games for the Canucks. kind of back-to-back in that they overlapped. The one in Calgary we'll get into first. Calgary outshot Vancouver badly in this game. Vancouver's down 2-0, and then they won it. They won it in overtime, 3-2. Virtanen with 2 goals. Shotgun Jake, so that's 2 shotguns for you. I don't know. I think it's the alcoholized beer, though, in the preseason. Don't cheat. It's just preseason. They don't count, so you have to have the beers with the no alcohol in them. I'm saying that to fans that already shotgun, too. Bachman saves 36 out of 38. Bachman's fighting for his job, too. The Canucks went out and got McIntyre. DiPietro's allowed to play in the AHL as well as a 20-year-old. So Bachman's fighting for his job. 36 saves on 38 shots is important for him. Frolik had one of the 2 goals for Calgary, and Talbot saved 6 out of 9. So again, as preseason, you don't want to read too much into it. But Talbot's numbers, he's going to have to get that together in time for the regular season, although I expect Riddick to be their starter. So Vancouver wins that one in overtime. Can they win 2 games tonight? No. The only team that won both games they played today was Nashville. But the Canucks made it entertaining. So it was 4-0 at one point in this one, and it ends up being a 4-3 victory for Calgary. I thought Vancouver showed some fight in that third period, and for fans in Victoria that watched that game, I would imagine they were highly entertained by what they saw. Zarnik with 2 goals for Calgary in the 4-3 victory. Zagadulin saved all 12 shots he faced before Parsons went in. There was an entertaining exchange between John Shorthouse and John Garrett, where Garrett basically outed Shorthouse for every time Zagadulin made a save. He would look down at a piece of paper with his name on there. So Shorty's sort of like, yeah, I have to read it off the paper every time so I get the name right. And all I could think was, if I did that during videos, boy, I tell you, I've been close. There's some names that I butcher, and hopefully that doesn't happen as much this year as it sometimes does. There are longtime subscribers going, oh, please, keep doing it. It's entertaining. Tevez with a goal for Vancouver. I thought he had a good game. I thought so. DiPietro with 15 saves on 18 shots. I'm going to say this straight out. DiPietro should be the goaltender that goes to the American League, in my opinion. Or not the American League, the East Coast League, in my opinion. Send him down to the ECHL. Let him get in a bunch of starts. And let Zane McIntyre and Richard Bachman be your American Hockey League goaltenders in Utica. That, anyways, would be my opinion, but that's just me. I thought of the 2, I thought McIntyre looked better. It's a 4-3 win for Calgary. They barely hold on in this one, and what I mean is that Parsons was, making some really good saves those last 45 seconds, or else this would have gone to overtime, and then who knows what would have happened. Horvat and Miller, I thought, from watching this game, it was noteworthy that they seemed to have some good chemistry together. That's something we were watching for. JT Miller also seemed to help on the power play, and it was noticeable when he was on the ice. Again, you're not putting your whole team on the ice. You're not icing a great NHL team at this stage. I know this. I just thought it was noteworthy. And Tevez and Rafferty. I like Tevez better than I like Rafferty, but Rafferty did get an assist tonight as well. So we'll see what kind of decisions they have to make on the blue line, because Rafferty and Tevez were guys they signed out of college. And you got the feeling when they signed them that Benning kind of wanted them on the roster. And so he's going to be looking for reasons to keep them around, which might cost a guy like Biega a spot on that roster. But we'll see. It's still very early. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And tomorrow, there's, I think, 9 games on the preseason schedule. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support, and I'll talk to you again soon.